Okay, I am begrudgingly saying this, but I want you to say it with me here. Stew! Yeah, that's right, baby. Get the Pink Pony Club blasting out there on the streets of Edmonton because the Oilers are heading into the third round of the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs. In a 4-1 series victory over the Vegas Golden Knights, we can make videos about the Golden Knights. And in fact, I do think I want to make videos about this Vegas team, especially with all the complaints that Golden Knights fans have been spewing out there on the interwebs from Game 5 and from the series as a whole. The Oilers and Stuart Skinner have shut out the Vegas Golden Knights in back-to-back games, winning Game 4, winning Game 5, and winning the series 4-1. The Oilers ultimately come out the victors in a series that wasn't really as close as you may have anticipated. A lot of folks were going out there and saying, hey, the Vegas Golden Knights, they can be that powerhouse. Jack Eichel can just turn it on a dime. He's no Connor McDavid, but like the conversations on scouting reports in 2015, he was just a shade below and still a franchise-caliber talent. And even though it is true that Eichel was working his behind off, even though it's true that maybe some other guys in the Golden Knights organization were playing well, like Adin Hill, for example, I'd say it's pretty agreeable that outside of Eichel and Hill and a few other guys, this Vegas team did not show up to play. I'm sorry, but they didn't do much. That game number 4, no shot generation at all. No legitimate scoring threats, really. The Oilers just kind of had their way and suppressed everything. Sure, Vegas might have gotten a shot or two, but Edmonton would quickly take it back and just go back the other way. They only won the game 3-0 after all. And then in this game number 5, they win it 1-0 in overtime. Big shout out over to these former Toronto Maple Leafs for getting on the board and helping out the Oilers in their playoff push, but Kasperi Kapanen ends up getting the overtime winner, assisted by Leon Draisaitl and Darnell Nurse. The puck gets thrown on goal from distance, and a scrum ensues in Adin Hill's crease. He's kind of snow angeling in the blue paint there, and Kapanen is whacking away at it, banging away at it. He inevitably buries it, and the Oilers are off to round number 3 for the third time in 4 years. Is that correct? I gotta think about it. 2025 is Edmonton versus whomever. 2024 was Edmonton versus, Dallas? 2023 was not Edmonton, it was, I think it was Vegas, actually, and Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is always in there, man. Stars, what a good team. And then Vegas beat Florida in the finals. Yes, that's what it was in 23. And then in 2022, the Oilers got swept by Colorado before the Avs beat the Lightning. Yeah, that's kind of how the timeline goes. The Oilers have made the conference finals in 3 out of the most previous 4 years. 22, 24, and 25. And a lot of this can boil down to the same argument that we always like to bring up for playoff series and playoff runs. All it takes is a goalie to get hot. And if your offense is clicking, your defense is suppressing, and your entire team structure is doing its thing, a hot goalie can carry you from being a team that's close to winning games to winning games with relative ease. And I'm not going to say that these games are necessarily easy. I mean, a 1-0 overtime win, not easy in the slightest. Jack Eichel was a monster, a man possessed in tonight's contest. But the Oilers, with their ability to just contain all of Vegas's opportunities for the Golden Knights to not show up and continuously exhibit dangerous levels of play on the ice, for the Golden Knights to have that kind of performance where they just didn't look all too great, this is where you start to think, yeah, I mean, the Edmonton Oilers and Stu Skinner, this is the run they needed. And it's no surprise that a lot of these games between Edmonton and Vegas started to see goal support from other guys that we're not really used to. I mean, Kasperi Kapanen gets the series-winning goal today against the Golden Knights. In game number 4, you had unlikely scorers like Adam Henrique going out there and scoring. Okay, maybe he's not the most unexpected, but he was still not a Draisaitl, a Nuge, or a Hyman, or a McDavid. Game number 3. Sure, Connor McDavid did get on the board, but he had Corey Perry scoring a bunch there too. Not to mention the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights scoring with 1 second to go, Riley Smith, baby, to win that game number 3. That was the last goal the Vegas Golden Knights scored in this series. And it took them, 2 straight games and a bit of overtime to have their fate decided, where they didn't score any more goals after that Game 3 buzzer beater. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing from a Vegas Golden Knights perspective, but still, going back over to the Oilers, look who scored for Edmonton in game number 2. You had Vasily Podkolzin, Darnell Nurse, Wallman going out there and getting some offense through. Vasily Podkolzin, man, is a total monster, and I'm not going to make this video all about him, but I will say that the Edmonton Oilers, on the backs of their depth scoring and their top-tier scoring, not to mention the goaltending support, they're proving everybody wrong, myself included. You thought I would have predicted Stu Skinner to get back-to-back shutouts against the Vegas Golden Knights in the second round to win the series and cement another chance in the Final Four? Hell no, I would not have thought about that. Stu Skinner, man, I don't want to make it seem like he was going absolute Dominic Hasek balls to the wall there, but this is what happens when you have a team in Edmonton that is just controlling the pace. They were up 3-1, they were comfortable, they were constant in this hockey game. And this is also what happens when you have a Vegas Golden Knights team where it's like, yeah, Eichel is amazing, but nobody else is showing up. Stone's out. Brandon Saad is out too. Some of these guys are just not looking as good as they have in the past. What the hell's up with Dorofeyev? It cannot be understated how disappointing this series and these past few games were for the Vegas Golden Knights. Even in the game that they won, it was barely a win. They won with like a fraction of a second to go. And other than that, they hadn't been doing all too well. The Oilers totally took some advantage here. The Golden Knights were not able to slow down Edmonton. And now they're going home packing for yet another year. I know Jack Eichel already has his cup, so it's not like, oh yeah, when's that guy gonna win? He's overdue. No, he's not. He won earlier in this decade. But you gotta wonder how he's feeling about all this. Meanwhile, for Edmonton, Eichel's draft buddy and Connor McDavid, the number 1 to his number 2, he's going on to the third round once again. We'll see what happens between Dallas and Winnipeg. If we get another Dallas-Edmonton Conference Finals, then I'm interested in all the drama that is going to unfold with that. Will we see Dallas try to exercise their demons, say, hey, we got all these extra pieces, we got Mikael Granlund, we have all these young guys, we got Rantanen now. This is going to be our opportunity to take down Connor McDavid and make the Stanley Cup Finals and hopefully not lose to another team in Florida again. So, Stuart Skinner, you proved me wrong. And the Oilers are off to round number 3 for the third time in 4 years. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Roll 9. And bye.